welcome to my hometown of Kentwood, Louisiana.
And I'm proud to be an American, where peace and hope are free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up to Dexter.
From Kentwood, Louisiana, here is 10-year-old Britney Spears.
At age 4, Britney started performing. By the age of 8, she had her own agent. A couple of decades and several platinum records later, Britney had a series of highly publicized mental breakdowns.
And then I sit and think, okay, what does a 15-year-old girl think about this? Do you have a greater concern for the social setup when you make your videos? Do you say, you know what, I don't want to be represented in this particular manner?
I'm the one that they're like, take that off. So we need to put you in something a little bit more appropriate. Not that I'm like, like scandalous or anything. No, but sometimes they try to, dress me in a proper way.
Now that you're 19, is there part of you that just wants to say, why is it wrong?
Everybody's going to have opinion and you can't please everybody, but I mean, as long as you're comfortable, let's say wear what you want to wear, you know what I mean? It's all in how you carry yourself and how you live, and that's what it boils down to.
Britney Spears causing concern after a late night out Wednesday.
Hi, my name's Britney Spears. I called you earlier, but I'm calling again because I just wanted to make sure during the process of ending the conservatorship.
And I'm proud to be an American, where peace and hope are free.
If it's all not enough for the Princess of Pop, we just learned her divorce from Sam Asghari has been finalized. A new photo showing the singer looking distressed, draped in a blanket as she appeared topless outside the Chateau Marmont. Earlier, an ambulance was called to the high-end LA hotel. Now, a source tells ET, Britney is fine and she's home safe. It's unclear if she caused the emergency response, but an eyewitness says a paramedic with a gurney was on standby, and someone in the singer's entourage talked with EMTs, as hotel workers tried to cover up the nearly naked pop star. We also know Brit was with her companion and former housekeeper, convicted felon Paul Richard Solis.
The Free Britney movement isn't new, but you're probably only hearing about it for the first time now.
Flash forward to Wednesday night, when Britney reportedly got into a fight with Richard inside the hotel before being spotted outside near emergency crews.
I just want to be a happy person.
Welcome back.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
In this week's episode, we're going to be covering the infamous Britney Spears. And if you don't know who Britney Spears is, I don't know what to tell you. You've been living under several rocks, and
I think I did it again. I made you believe we're more than friends. Oh, baby, in my mind seemed like a crush.
Some sedimentary layers probably at this point. So I've personally loved Britney Spears for most of my life. My dad had a huge crush on her, so that's how I was first introduced to her. A little weird. And then I continued to listen to her music and be inspired by her and her career for pretty much my entire life.
That doesn't mean that I'm serious. It's to lose all my senses.
I've been rooting for her throughout her conservatorship to get out of her conservatorship. And since she was freed from her conservatorship, I have been cheering for her freedom. But it's not all sunshine and roses for Britney Spears. Let's get into it.
That is just so typically me. Oh, baby, baby, I did it again.
In the annals of celebrity culture, few stories are as poignant and multifaceted as that of Britney Spears, the princess of pop. Britney's journey from a small-town girl with big dreams to a global superstar is a tale of unparalleled success and seemingly insurmountable challenges. However, beneath the glittering facade of fame lies a darker narrative, one marked by the perils and pitfalls that often accompany early stardom. Born on December 2nd, 1981, in Macomb, Mississippi, Britney Jean Spears entered the world with a spark that would ignite the music industry. From a tender age, she exhibited an extraordinary talent for performing, captivating audiences with her magnetic presence and powerhouse vocals.
And I'm proud to be an American where peace and home I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend us.
By the age of 8, she was already enrolled in dance classes, laying the groundwork for a career that would soon catapult her to superstardom. So too did the pressures and expectations thrust upon her young shoulders. Signed to a record label at the age of 15, she quickly rose to prominence with hits like Baby One More Time and Oops, I Did It Again, cementing her status as a bona fide pop sensation. However, the relentless scrutiny of the media and the unyielding demands of fame took their toll, casting a shadow over her seemingly charmed life. Behind the scenes, Britney grappled with the weight of celebrity, navigating a turbulent landscape fraught with personal and professional challenges. From highly publicized relationships to battles with mental health, her life became fodder for tabloids and gossip columns, reducing her humanity to mere headlines and sensationalized narratives. Central to Britney's story is the phenomenon of the child star, a figure whose innocence and vulnerability are often exploited in pursuit of commercial success. As she transitioned from adolescence to adulthood under the harsh glare of the spotlight, Britney's journey became emblematic of the complex intersection between fame, fortune, and the loss of childhood innocence. Today, we're going to delve into the tortured life of Britney Spears, exploring the highs and lows of her career, the impact of early fame on her mental and emotional well-being, and the enduring legacy of her tumultuous journey. Through a nuanced examination of her experiences, we will seek to unravel the complexities of celebrity culture and shine a light on the human cost of stardom. Join us as we embark on a journey through the extraordinary life of a child star who captured the world's imagination, only to find herself ensnared in a web of fame, fortune, and unrelenting scrutiny. This is the story of Britney Spears, a testament to the triumphs and tribulations of a life in the spotlight. Chapter 1. The Puppeteer's Strings. In the quaint town of Macomb, Mississippi, beneath the veneer of Southern charm and hospitality, lurked a tale of ambition and manipulation that would shape the destiny of a young girl named Britney Jean Spears.
Where I come from is country, and when I get back home, I start talking country again. Stuff like yonder and hey y'all, or what y'all doing, stuff like that.
This is my great-grandmother. Everybody calls her Granny, and you haven't tasted any seafood until you taste hers.
I work the cash register and clean the tables and help the customers.
These are going to be the...
I really love living in Louisiana. The people here are so nice. They treat you like family and make you feel right at home.
It was here in the heart of the Deep South that the seeds of fame were first sown, guided by the cunning hand of a mother with grand aspirations.
James, aka Jamie Spears, and Lynn Spears married in July of 1976. Little did the struggling small-town newlyweds know they would eventually give birth to an international phenomenon that would change our entire culture forever. Jamie was a building contractor, and Lynn would take care of Brian Spears, their firstborn. They were like many Americans living paycheck to paycheck, just trying to get by.
Lynn Spears, a woman with dreams of stardom unfulfilled herself, saw in her daughter Britney the opportunity to realize her own longings for fame and fortune.
But even before Britney was born, Jamie and Lynn's marriage always seemed to be in a toxic and unhealthy place. Living in a town as small as Kentwood, Louisiana, gossip makes its way around the town quickly. And on Christmas Day, 1979, Jamie was allegedly spotted at a local Kentwood bar cozying up to another woman. Just 1 week later, on January 2nd, 1980, Lynn Spears would file for divorce, alleging he committed adultery that night. She would also request a restraining order, worried that Jamie's reaction to the divorce could end up in harassment or even physical harm, especially if Jamie had been drinking. Lynn did end up withdrawing the divorce paperwork in March of 1980. However, Jamie's drinking would continue to escalate, and this would not be the first restraining order requested against Jamie Spears in his lifetime. On December 2nd, 1981, a pop star emerged from the womb, and her name was Britney Jean Spears.
From the moment Britney entered the world, she was groomed for a life in the spotlight, her every move orchestrated with precision and calculation.
Kentwood is a tiny, tiny, tiny town with a population of 2,122 and a median household income that is half of the national average. This means that many are at or below the poverty line, and Lynn and Jamie Spears were no exception. Jamie's continued drinking would make it difficult for him to hold down jobs and support the family. Times would get so rough, the fridge would be empty, and Jamie would have to hunt in his backyard for small animals in order to feed the kids.
As a child, Britney showed an innate talent for performance, her natural charisma and boundless energy captivating those around her. Sensing an opportunity to capitalize on her daughter's potential, Lynn spared no expense in nurturing Britney's talents, enrolling her in dance classes and competitions from a young age.
It is now 1984, and Britney was just 3 years old when Lynn Spears saw star potential in her daughter. Lynn did not want to waste any time preparing Britney to be a performer, so she put her then toddler in voice and dancing lessons. This would be just the beginning of the stage mom years.
But behind the facade of motherly encouragement lay a darker truth, hidden from prying eyes. For Lynn Spears was not merely a supportive parent guiding her child's dreams, she was a puppeteer pulling the strings of her daughter's destiny with a calculated and almost sinister hand.
I think the biggest regrets that I have right now, by looking back, I didn't follow my mother's intuition a lot of times, or my gut instincts. I would let people talk me into things, or, influence me, and I was right. My initial gut instinct was always right on. And sometimes I didn't follow it. I have to laugh when I hear people call me stage mom, because right now I can see one of my students that I taught. He's now an English professor in a small community college. I'm a teacher at heart. The stage mom was not my choice, and I never was.
Driven by an insatiable hunger for fame and recognition, Lynn saw Britney not as a child to be cherished and nurtured, but as a means to an end, a pawn in her quest for glory. With every dance recital, every gymnastics class, every audition, every fleeting taste of applause, Britney unwittingly danced to the tune of her mother's ambitions, blissfully unaware of the web of deceit that enveloped her. But as Britney's star began to rise, so too did the cracks in the facade of her seemingly idyllic upbringing. Behind closed doors, the Spears household was rife with tension and manipulation as Lynn orchestrated every aspect of her daughter's career with ruthless precision.
Many believe Lynn saw Britney's potential as her out from a toxic marriage and a life filled with financial struggles. However, the financial hardships and home life would only get worse as they tried to make Britney a star. Britney was a busy child. Aside from ballet, jazz, gymnastics, and voice lessons, she would also sing in her church's choir, compete in children's talent shows, join dance competitions, compete at the state level for gymnastics, sing on local television, and even did a short run of beauty pageants where she of course won the talent portion.
Neighbors whispered of late-night rehearsals and grueling schedules, of a mother consumed by ambition and a daughter caught in the crossfire.
Having Britney in all of these activities and competitions was really expensive.
Money was sometimes tight.
It was not unheard of for them to wear hand-me-down clothes.
It's kind of one of those things where you know it, you just don't talk about it.
Sending children to private school can get expensive for anyone.
It was really hard on them putting her through, dance lessons and singing lessons and going to an academy like that.
There's tuition, there's registration, there are books, there are assessment fees. I would imagine having 3 it would be expensive to do.
Yet, amidst the whispers and rumors, Britney remained oblivious to the true extent of her mother's machinations, her innocence shielded by the illusion of familial love.
William Spears, brother of Jamie Spears, recalls when Britney was no older than 5 years old, Jamie Spears tried to drive off drunk with Britney in the car. William stopped him and they had a physical altercation in front of Britney, who was screaming scared. William also remembered a time when they were all in the kitchen. Lynn was just drinking a glass of water and Jamie walked in drunk, insulted Lynn, grabbed her glass of water, hurled it across the room, shattering it. Britney was regularly witness to these drunken violent episodes and her parents regularly screaming at each other. Britney's Aunt Sandra was a safe place for her and they were really close. Many times when her parents would scream and yell, she would run over to her aunt's house to escape what was a very toxic, unhealthy home. Even throughout her career, she would find ways to thank her Aunt Sandra.
My beautiful, sweet family for just instilling in me the love of music, just teaching me diligence, perseverance, and always sacrifice no matter what the cost. I love you. And I want to thank the Lord for just proving to me I can do anything through Him who gives me strength. And I truly believe if you follow your heart, and most importantly, God, your dreams will come true. And these are for you, Aunt Sandra.
Little did she know that she was but a pawn in a game of power and control, manipulated by the very woman who was supposed to protect her. For in the twisted world of show business, the line between love and exploitation blurred, and Britney Spears was merely a puppet dancing on her mother's strings. Chapter 2, Shadows Behind the Spotlight. Before the glare of the Mickey Mouse Club's neon lights illuminated her path to stardom, Britney Jean Spears had already tasted the bitter sting of rejection on the unforgiving stage of Star Search. It was here, amidst the harsh scrutiny of judges and audiences alike, that she first felt the crushing weight of failure, a sensation that would haunt her for years to come.
So in 1990, Lynn took Britney all the way to Atlanta, Georgia to audition for a spot on the Disney Channel's The Mickey Mouse Club. Britney was just 8 years old at the time, but she made it all the way to the final 6. However, she was told to come back when she was 10. Casting director Matt Casella knew Britney was incredible, so he introduced her to Nancy Carson, a New York talent agent. Nancy got Lynn to enroll Britney in the Professional Performing Arts School. Now we're in 1992, which was a huge year for Britney Spears because she debuted on the TV show Star Search. She did an incredible job, but she didn't end up winning. Even though a young Britney was rejected on live TV, this did not discourage her. In fact, it motivated her. Then talent agent Nancy Carson would get Britney Spears an understudy role along with Natalie Portman on the off-Broadway play Ruthless.
But, as fate would have it, Britney's journey was far from over.
Britney, her baby sister Jamie, and Lynn would temporarily move to a very tiny New York apartment. But Britney, she was young and she was working really long hours.
It was every night, and it was just like so monotonous. It was just, but then I kind of got tired, and I was gonna have to perform on Christmas night. And I was getting, really upset, because I wanted Santa Claus, I wanted to be home with my family, and, I think I was like 11 years old. And, so I told my mom, because she always told me, whenever you want to pack up and just go home, let's do it. So I was like, you know what, I gotta go home, I gotta go home and be with my family again, because I totally missed it. So we packed up and everything, but the day before we left to audition again for the Mickey Mouse Club, they had another, audition for it. It was like, this is like 2 years later. And that's when I got it. So I got to go home and experience Christmas.
Cast into the glittering world of the Mickey Mouse Club alongside fellow child prodigies like Justin Timberlake, Ryan Gosling, and Christina Aguilera, she found herself thrust into the spotlight once more, her innocence and vulnerability ripe for exploitation.
The Mickey Mouse Club was truly Britney's big break at just age 11. It was filmed at MGM Studios in California.
From the moment she stepped onto the set of the iconic children's show, Britney was greeted not with warmth and camaraderie, but with the cold indifference of a machine grinding relentlessly forward.
So Britney would live in California 6 months out of the year to film the show.
Behind the scenes, the working conditions were far from magical, with grueling schedules and relentless pressure taking a toll on the young performers.
According to Mental Floss, the Mickey Mouse Club contracts were exploitative as the children would make $185 a week, which comes out to under $5 an hour with the kids working full days.
Under the watchful eye of Disney's corporate overlords, Britney and her fellow Mouseketeers were subjected to a regime of strict discipline and conformity, their every move scrutinized and controlled. Long hours of unrelenting rehearsals left little time for rest or relaxation, as the demands of fame exacted a heavy toll on their tender young spirits. For Britney, the experience was a far cry from the carefree innocence of childhood, as she found herself thrust into a world of cutthroat competition and ruthless ambition. Behind the smiles and laughter that lit up television screens across the nation lay a darker truth, hidden from the prying eyes of adoring fans. Amidst the glitter and glamour of Hollywood, Britney struggled to find her voice, her dreams overshadowed by the relentless grind of show business. Surrounded by peers who seemed to effortlessly command the stage, she felt like an outsider, her insecurities amplified by the constant pressure to measure up to impossible standards of perfection. But amidst the darkness, there were glimmers of hope. Brief moments of camaraderie and laughter shared with her fellow Mouseketeers, fleeting glimpses of the childhood she so desperately longed to reclaim. And in the eyes of her adoring fans, Britney found solace as she clung to the belief that her talent and determination would one day propel her to greatness. And you know what? Little did she know that the shadows that lurked behind the spotlight would soon engulf her, casting a pall over her once bright future. For in the cutthroat world of entertainment, innocence was a liability, and Britney Spears was about to learn that the price of fame was higher than she could ever have imagined. Chapter 3, Rising Star, Britney Spears' Journey to Superstardom. In the annals of pop music history, few stories shine as brightly as that of Britney Spears, whose meteoric rise to fame in the late 1990s and early 2000s captivated the entire world. Chapter 3 of Britney's saga is marked by her transition from a talented newcomer to a global icon, leaving an indelible mark on the cultural landscape. Britney's ascent began with a seismic event in the music industry. The release of her debut album, Baby One More Time, in 1999, the title track with its catchy hooks and infectious beat became an instant sensation, catapulting Britney to international fame virtually overnight. Sure, she had her first 15 minutes on the Mickey Mouse Club, but Britney actually left the Mickey Mouse Club to go have a regular life for a few years.
After they wrapped up filming in 1994, Britney would return home to be a typical kid for the first time in her life. Britney's parents at this point were really struggling. With the Mickey Mouse contracts not being that great, they'd gotten into serious debt trying to make Britney a star. There were judgments against them to seize their property and sell it to collect debt and federal tax liens. At this point, the Spears family was going bankrupt. 1995 is the only year in Britney Spears' childhood where she seemed to live a somewhat normal teenage life. It was 9th grade and she was going to a typical high school, getting elected for homecoming court, and was dating the star football player Reg Jones. Reg and Britney went to prom that year, the first and only prom Britney would ever go to. But this year of normalcy would quickly come to an end.
After 1999, that was it for any kind of regular life for Britney Spears.
After the success of the Spice Girls in the UK, the late 1990s saw a surge of interest in girl groups. Record labels in the United States were looking to capitalize off of their success and form girl groups of their own, and every label wanted the next Spice Girls, and they were going to get their way. Britney was even in talks with Lou Pearlman to join the female pop group Innocence. However, Larry Rudolph, then entertainment lawyer who Britney had met when she was 13 through Justin Timberlake, had a different idea. Larry wanted to pitch her to record labels as a solo artist. So Britney recorded a demo and flew to New York all by herself for one day to sing for various labels. Most turned her down as they were all looking for pop groups, but Jive Records thought Britney had just the commercial appeal they were looking for, and on August 4th, 1997, Britney changed the world forever and signed a recording contract with Jive. There are tons of theories across the internet about how they worked to change Britney's voice before recording her album to the iconic Britney Spears baby voice we all know today. Britney loved Whitney Houston and sang in a deeper voice in her earlier days. But they needed a pop icon, and Britney would be just the one to deliver that either way. And just like that, Britney was off to Sweden to record part of her first album with Swedish songwriter and producer Max Martin. On October 23rd, when Britney was 16, Baby One More Time was released as her debut single, and would become one of the best-selling singles ever released, launching a small-town Britney into an international pop star, thus kicking off the 21st century pop renaissance. On January 12th, 1999, Britney took the pop music scene by storm and released her debut album Baby One More Time. It reached #1 in 15 countries, becoming the best-selling debut album of any artist to date. This was huge.
The album's success was not merely a commercial triumph, but a cultural phenomenon, resonating with audiences worldwide and cementing Britney's status as a pop culture icon.
In just a few short months, Britney Spears was a household name. She was winning awards, opening for NSYNC, and touring across malls in America. You could not turn on your TV in 1999 without seeing the 17-year-old pop sensation Britney Spears.
Female vocalist or female artist of the year would be...
And the choice female artist is... And the choice female artist is...
And the winner is...
Britney Spears. Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
As the new millennium dawned, Britney's star continued to ascend with a string of chart-topping hits that dominated the airwaves. Songs like Oops, I Did It Again, Stronger Than Yesterday, and Na 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 Na, with the taste of your lips, I'm alright. You're toxic. I played with your heart, got us in the game. Showcased Britney's evolution as an artist, exploring themes of love, empowerment, and self-discovery.
What came along with this newfound stardom was Britney being turned into a teenage symbol. They would often ask teenage Britney really invasive questions.
It's classic Britney, as a magazine said, a kind of puzzle under all those shifting images. Playing innocent, and then playing the shock for all it's worth.
We look at you like you're a little girl. No. We look at you like you're a big skank. But nice of her to try and break free of her kitty pop image and show she's an independent woman by becoming a toy for a group of sweaty guys. I am woman. Hear me, whore.
With each new release, Britney pushed the boundaries of pop music, solidifying her reputation as one of the industry's most dynamic and influential figures.
The wife of the governor of Maryland, who appeared at an anti-violence rally, and well, listen to what she said.
Really, if I had an opportunity to shoot Britney Spears, I think I would.
Oh, that's horrible.
Well,
that's really bad.
Because of the example for kids and how hard it is to be a parent and keep all of this away from your kids.
I mean, I can't help that. And if the parents don't like them to see it, then change the channel. So, sorry.
Global icon. Britney's impact transcended borders, as sold-out concerts, magazine covers, and endorsement deals propelled her to the pinnacle of global stardom. From Tokyo to London, fans clamored for a glimpse of the pop princess, whose image graced billboards and television screens around the world. Britney's influence extended beyond music, shaping trends in fashion, beauty, and popular culture, as fans sought to emulate her iconic style and charisma.
I would like you to talk to the young kids and tell them Britney Spears should be grounded for wearing that. Did you see what you're an adult woman. You're a grown-up. Britney Spears is 18. She's like, you know, takes 2 Band-Aids and she's singing there. I don't appreciate that.
She's a nice girl.
She's very nice, but the trampy outfits have to go.
But it's going to be hard to hear the criticism. And I know, Lynn, as a mom, you've been criticized too. You know, like, why do you let her go out looking like that sometimes? How have you dealt with it? And what advice have you given Britney about her appearance?
Well, and what people don't understand is that Britney doesn't go out looking like that. I mean, when she goes to some party, or if it's the Grammy or whatever, that's where you dress up.
Being a girl,
that's
being
a
dressed
costume.
up,
That is glamour.
There was a media frenzy, yet amid the adulation and acclaim, Britney found herself ensnared in the relentless glare of the media spotlight. Tabloid headlines, paparazzi harassment, and invasive gossip about her personal life became an ever-present reality, casting a shadow over her seemingly idyllic existence.
Amongst all these disgusting questions and uncomfortable interviews, one of the most iconic relationships to date formed. Britney Spears started dating teen heartthrob Justin Timberlake. They became pop royalty and the it couple that the media could not stop talking about. And in 2000, Britney kept that momentum going. In May of that year, she released Oops, I Did It Again. This album was another huge hit and her second best-selling album to date.
The constant scrutiny took a toll on Britney's mental and emotional well-being, as she struggled to navigate the pressures of fame while maintaining a semblance of privacy.
Her life was regularly questioned, and that's when Britney said she was saving sex for marriage.
Do you wish you'd never said anything about the virginity thing because it's going to follow you to wedding night?
I I kind of wish, I kind of do, because when I go overseas, you know, they'll ask you questions about it, and it's just something that's there, and you can't help it.
Which then the media became obsessed with Britney and her virginity.
I'm just wondering how you feel about all the constant speculation about your virginity and whether you are a virgin or not.
I really wish I would have never said anything to begin with, because I'm kind of stuck in this little place where people are always asking me. But, you know, that's just something that's part of growing up, and that's just something that we all have to deal with, so.
Have there been any changes on that front?
That's a personal question.
Despite the challenges she faced, Britney's talent and perseverance were recognized with numerous awards and accolades, including Grammy Awards, MTV Video Music Awards, and Billboard Music Awards. These honors not only validated Britney's artistic achievements, but also solidified her legacy as a pop music icon, ensuring her place in the pantheon of musical legends for generations to come.
In the 2000s, Britney also began forming her pop star image. She would often push the envelope, much like Madonna in the 80s and 90s, but she was taking it even further. For example, at the 2000 VMAs, Britney performed Oops, I Did It Again, and at the time it was considered extremely controversial because of her nude-colored outfit and dancing. Almost everything Britney did at the time was considered a scandal. In the following year, Britney released the album Britney in October 2001. With songs like Slave for You and I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman had the media already talking. But then Britney performed the 2001 VMAs with probably the most iconic performance ever. She started off in a cage with one of Doc Antle's tigers and would proceed to put a giant yellow snake around her neck. That image of Britney with the snake around her neck has been one of Britney's most iconic moments.
Beyond music, Britney expanded her reach into film, television, and merchandise, forging a multimedia empire that showcased her versatility and entrepreneurial spirit, starring in roles in movies like Crossroads, one of my favorites of all time, and a successful fragrance line further solidified her status as a cultural force to be reckoned with as she diversified her portfolio and capitalized on her global appeal. And honestly, who can say that they don't know Britney Spears Fantasy? Like, I feel like it's probably still one of the most sold fragrances to this day. In 2024, I smell it everywhere I go still. My middle school and high school were marked by that. Maybe even my elementary school, honestly. Throughout her journey, Britney was buoyed by the unwavering support of her devout fan base, affectionately known as the Britney Army. From fan clubs to social media communities, these loyal followers stood by Britney and still do, through highs and lows, celebrating her successes and offering words of encouragement during times of struggle. Their devotion served as a testament to Britney's enduring impact and the profound connection she shares with her fans.
Crossroads premiere. 2002 was a difficult year for Britney because the good girl image from her teen years was still so heavily pushed onto her into adulthood. She was constantly criticized for being too sexual and having to be this perfect role model for millions of kids around the globe. Britney's aunt was also diagnosed with cancer. And in 2002, the pop culture defining relationship between Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake had just as big of a fall.
Chapter 4. From Stardom to Struggle. Britney Spears' Descent and the Dark Conservatorship. Chapter 4 of Britney's narrative is a harrowing tale of a global icon's descent into turmoil marked by personal struggles, public scrutiny, and the ultimate loss of autonomy. Her rise to stardom continued through the early 2000s. She found herself at the pinnacle of success with sold-out concerts, chart-topping hit after hit after hit after hit, and a legion of adoring fans all around the world. Yet amidst the glitz and glamour of fame, cracks began to appear in the facade of Britney's seemingly perfect life.
Britney and Justin went through a very, very public breakup, and Justin was not shy about airing relationship details. He also alluded to sleeping with Britney on Hot 97 FM when promoting his album, as the media was still weirdly obsessed with knowing if the world's pop princess had been sexually active. Justin took it further and hired a Britney lookalike for his song about their breakup, Cry Me a River.
The relentless pressure of fame took a toll on Britney's mental and emotional well-being, leading to a series of highly publicized personal struggles. From tumultuous relationships to battles with mental health issues, Britney's private turmoil was laid bare for the world to see.
And this is where you see the shift against Britney Spears in the media start to begin. Britney was trying to shake the teenage image, and the media started to paint her as the villain in every aspect of her life. Then, the 2003 infamous VMA performance happened. Britney and Madonna kissed on stage, and the world went wild. And in 2003, on public television, this was considered shocking, and the media treated it as this huge deal.
Madonna was great, you know, kissing Britney. Like, where's my kiss?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I didn't know what to think. It just kind of happened right in front of you, and it was just, you had to take it in.
Career! Madonna and Britney!
No!
No! Are you one of those straight guys who fantasizes about two women together? And is that too personal of a question?
Yes and yes.
Every straight male has that fantasy.
Which it was pretty iconic to see Britney and Madonna kiss. However, the media took this way too far and tried to paint Britney as the villain even further by saying she's a horrible role model. One public official even got in trouble for saying that Britney Spears should be shot for kissing Madonna on TV.
Tabloids and gossip columns dissected her every move with relentless scrutiny. I miss bad media karma, another day of melodrama. Guess I can't see the harm in working and being a mama. And with the kid on my arm, I'm still an exceptional earner. Now are you sure you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me, Mrs. Lifestyles of the rich and famous. You want a piece of me, Mrs. Oh my god, that Britney's shameless. You want a piece of me.
Around this time, Britney also released her 4th studio album, In the Zone. With hits like Breathe on Me and Toxic, this proved to be one of Britney's most iconic and successful eras to date. Everything Britney touched was gold. Anything she did was so talked about that she, as an entertainer, changed the pop music and entertainment industry forever. With iconic music videos like Toxic and performances to follow them up, Britney Spears was the name on everyone's lips in the early 2000s. Unfortunately, around this time, photos of Britney doing normal things for her age, like smoking and drinking, started to make the rounds in the media, saying that Britney was a terrible role model and that people should stop supporting her.
Britney's personal struggles were amplified by the intense media scrutiny that surrounded her every move. Paparazzi harassment, invasive gossip, and sensationalized headlines became an ever-present reality as Britney's life played out like a tabloid soap opera for the masses.
The harassment by the media was getting out of hand, but no one, especially not Britney, was ready for what was about to come.
2004 marks a major shift in Britney's life. She clearly had enough of the control behind the scenes and the media's portrayal of her. It is January 1st, and Britney is spotted dancing the night away at Ray in Las Vegas with Jason Alexander, a childhood friend from Kentwood, Louisiana. Jason and Britney are having such an amazing time in Vegas partying that in the early hours of January 3rd, they have an idea to do something wild and crazy. Britney and Jason hop into a lime green limousine and head down to the Clark County Courthouse to get a wedding license. In just minutes, Jason and Britney laughed and cried their way through the infamous wedding ceremony. When Larry Rudolph and Lynn Spears learned of Britney's marriage, they went into a panic and damage control mode set in.
By marrying Jason, Britney may have been seeking revenge on the advisors who sold her as an untouchable virgin. And somewhere deep inside, on the mother who agreed to market her as a baby-faced sex bomb.
When you look at Britney, what has her life been like? She's been managed. She's been managed by her mother, managed by managers, managed by the media. And so here she has a moment of freedom and a moment of self-choice, and she goes, you guys can't control who I am. You can't control what I do. I can do whatever I want.
After the quickie Las Vegas wedding, the poop hit the fan. Lynn went insane. They sent like an army of lawyers pouring into Vegas.
We just received a decree of annulment. There is no marriage now. They're both very happy that they've made the decision that they made to annul the marriage.
And at 4:30 p.m., Britney and Jason signed the annulment papers. According to George Maloof, they were tickled pink and gleeful when signing on the dotted line that would end the famous 55-hour marriage.
How soon? 5 years? Would you like to have a guy?
That would be the ultimate dream.
Yeah?
That would be great.
Are you thinking you'll wait till you're 30?
I don't want to wait till 40. No. I would love to have a family. That would be when I'm the most content with my kids and just, I mean, that's they become your life. It's not all about you anymore, and you have a focus that's so beautiful.
She then locked eyes with Kevin Federline, who was previously a backup dancer for NSYNC at a Hollywood club. Kevin said it was love at first sight. The tabloids would explode with images of Kevin and Britney together, and Britney was being branded a home wrecker.
How did he propose? Can I ask that, or is that too much? Am I being nosy?
I proposed.
You proposed? Really? And did he say yes right away?
Not right away.
No? Yeah, because it didn't look like he wanted to get married. He said love is love, and that's a commitment enough. And
Actually,
right?
I was a little rejected at first. I kind of got slapped down.
No, I told her, I told her that it's not right for the woman to ask the man. The man's supposed to get on one knee and do it all right and this and that. And
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Whatever.
Exactly.
So then you then had to turn around and ask her.
Yeah, it took me about 5 minutes and I turned around and asked her.
Really? That's sweet.
In April of 2005, just 1 year after meeting Kevin and marrying him, Britney announced that they were expecting their first baby.
Britney has been controlled by her mom and her managers ever since she was like 9 years old. By having a baby, you can't take that away from her.
Back in 2006, we didn't have the paparazzi laws that we have today to protect celebrity children.
In February, Britney was photographed driving on the Pacific Coast Highway with her baby in her lap, in the front seat. It was a picture that became not only a punchline.
But in her defense, the baby had to sit on her lap because her husband Kevin was asleep in the child seat. So apparently...
But the source of serious debate all across the country.
I think it's very important that Britney gets some baby safety training.
You were photographed, I guess, by the paparazzi again, pursuing you. Mm-hmm. And there was Sean on your lap in the car.
Yeah.
Take me through what happened there.
If right now we got in the car and went to Starbucks, you would see 20 photographers there. And I went to Starbucks and I see a bunch of photographers and I'm scared and I want to get out of the situation and my baby's crying. They're coming up on the, the sides of the car, which is a scary situation for me, and they're banging on the windows and that's not something I want my baby to, so I get my baby out of the car and I go home. So, and I just feel like that they're taking cheap shots.
But the fact of the matter is, while they pursue you, and we can argue for a long time, they shouldn't be doing it. And I would agree with you on that completely. They managed to snap a picture that didn't cast you in the best light.
Oh, of course. That is their job. And they do a very good job at it. And they've crossed the line so many times, and I think because I'm a sweet young girl, nothing ever gets really done about it,
When you were driving with Sean on your lap, did it clearly?
And it's seriously that driving incident. I did it with my dad. I'd sit in his lap and I'd drive. We're country. That's what, you know what I mean?
But what happened, though, it crossed from a paparazzi incident to next day, it's in the newspapers, and you've got all these legitimate people weighing in, saying, you know what? That's dangerous. And she put her child at risk. You saw the questions that were being asked. Is Britney a bad mom?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, did Britney record a bad song?
Mm-hmm.
Is Britney wearing a bad outfit? Is Britney in a bad marriage?
Yeah.
Is Britney a bad mom?
Mm-hmm. That's America for you.
Yeah, but as a mother, that has to hit pretty close to home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes you really strong.
Make you weep?
Oh, I've wept. Yeah. I've definitely wept just with the world, how judgmental they are. You know what? I know I'm a good mom.
But just a few weeks after the baby in the lap incident, Britney's son, while in the care of a nanny, fell out of a high chair and banged his head.
You took him to the doctor?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, of course.
So you walked into the hospital and said he bumped his head, fell out of a high chair.
And then the doctors acted really funny with me. I know, it was really bizarre.
Well, how'd they act funny?
I don't want to say, but they did.
Suspicious?
Like I said, I don't want to say what they did or what they said. But it was bad. It was really, really bad.
Do you think, though, Britney, that because of those questions that were asked after that picture on Pacific Coast Highway with Sean in your lap, that the doctor in that emergency room or that hospital said, wait a second, maybe I have a bad mom on my hands?
I was just happy that my son was okay, and I wanted to get home and get out of there.
And then, not long after that, you got a visit from the family services people.
Yeah, in which actually they felt really bad about it. They said, we don't even know why we're here.
So in other words, they came because it's their job to come. They have to investigate.
They didn't have to come. The doctor there made them come because I didn't bring my doctor there with me. So people a lot of times think because you're a celebrity that you're taken care of more. In some situations, people, you get it worse.
In another incident, Britney and her baby were yet again being harassed by paparazzi, making it difficult for her to even get to her car. Britney tripped, almost dropping Sean, but she caught herself. Later that day, that situation really shook her and she was spotted crying in a restaurant. But even the owner of the restaurant started taking pictures of her.
And then there was the infamous head shaving incident. I think that I was in grade 12 when this happened, maybe. This was like a huge thing, I remember. In February 2007, Britney's downward spiral reached a dramatic climax with the infamous head shaving incident. In a moment of apparent crisis, Britney shaved her own head at a Los Angeles hair salon, sparking a media frenzy and widespread speculation about her mental state. And there's been several rumors about why this is. Some people say that they were going to drug test her, and apparently they will test your hair. And so she decided that she would shave her hair so they couldn't test her hair follicles. Other theories are that she shaved her head because that way they couldn't keep marketing her as this sexy bombshell and she could at least have a semblance of autonomy. But I don't know. You never really know. But that gets us into the next section, which is her loss of autonomy. Amidst mounting concerns about Britney's well-being, her father, Jamie Spears, petitioned the court for conservatorship, effectively stripping Britney of her autonomy and placing her under the control of a court-appointed guardian. The conservatorship, initially established as a temporary measure, would go on to become a defining aspect of Britney's life for over a decade.
My father threatened me several times that he would still take my children away. I just want to be guaranteed that everything will be fine with the process.
Amid a media frenzy, the 26-year-old pop star was brought by ambulance to a Los Angeles hospital.
I never wanted to become one of those prisoner people. I always wanted to feel free, get in my car and go and not let people make me feel like I had to stay in my home. And let certain people into my life that were just bad people. And I was very guarded at first, but then I went to a point where I ended up letting them in because I was lonely or whatever the fact, and I really paid the consequences for that.
I'm definitely angry with myself for letting people take advantage of me. I'm angry with people for taking advantage of me and for letting it go on for so long. But I have to go on with it. I look at it for what it is and I have to move on with it.
She explains how hopeless she is, saying even when you go to jail, you know when you get out.
If I wasn't under the restraints that I'm under right now, with all the lawyers and doctors and people analyzing me every day and all that kind of stuff, if that wasn't there, I'd feel so liberated and feel like myself, kind of stuck in this place, and it's like, how do you deal, and you just cope, and that's what I do. I just cope with it. Just you can't really go there in a complete state of happiness because you're scared that it's going to be taken away. So it's better just not to feel anything at all.
Hate me, can't you see what I see? All of the boys and all of the girls are begging to if you CK me. Legal battle and the public outcry. In the years that followed, Britney's conservatorship became the subject of intense public scrutiny and legal battles, as fans and advocates questioned the motives behind the arrangement and called for Britney's freedom. The hashtag Free Britney movement, fueled by social media activism, gained traction as supporters rallied behind Britney's cause, demanding an end to the conservatorship and justice for the pop icon.
Like a mouse to a cheese trap, Britney is literally the original Mouseketeer, trapped by her infamously cheese-loving father, Jamie Spears.
I'm making my baby some cheese grits.
Britney Spears was forbidden to release her own album, Original Doll. At the time, she was 27 and was involuntarily committed to rehab and psychiatric hospitals. but that is what led her to this state of conservatorship. Okay, so what is it and what is the fight to free Britney from it? Basically, it's enacted by a judge for those incapable of making their own decisions, like the elderly with dementia or those who are seriously unwell. Conservatorship means that Britney suddenly did not and still does not have any control of the $100 million plus that she earns a year, her personal assets, and life decisions. Total control is in the hands of Jamie Spears, her father, who is also her allocated lawyer, kind of exactly like Ashley O's insidiously domineering aunt, Catherine. Jamie Spears, who allegedly physically assaulted Britney's 13-year-old son last year, has authority over Britney's estate, tax forms, professional commitments, tours, health, and life.
How's Britney doing?
How can we support your mom? Well, I don't know. Is your grandpa a jerk? Yeah, he's pretty big. He's pretty as shit. You can go die.
It's alleged that it also means that she can't drive herself, can't vote, can't hire her own legal representatives, can't spend her money, can't see how her money is being spent, can't contact anyone or use social media without being monitored, and can hardly see her own kids. But the irony and flaw in all of this is that she can work like a horse and make those who are in control of her life consequently very bloody rich. Jamie also allegedly threatened legal action against the person who first published the hashtag Free Britney movement back in 2009. Why so mad, Jamie? Look, some say that this guardianship helped save Britney's life by removing toxic people and situations from her vicinity, and that die-hard fans who fight against it don't quite grasp the seriousness of her mental health. Then I took a deeper dive. Law experts say that this conservatorship is highly unusual for someone as young and as productive as Spears. Only a couple of months after Britney was deemed seriously unfit to do anything with her life, she was also deemed fit enough to go back on tour and back into the public eye to perform a grueling 4-year Las Vegas residency. In fact, up until last year, 2019, Britney continued to drop an album every couple of years, with one tour alone in 2018 grossing an estimated $54.6 million. So quite high functioning for someone who is being told that they are the opposite.
A legacy of resilience. As Britney's legal battles continue to unfold, her story serves as a sobering reminder of the dark side of fame and the precarious nature of celebrity culture. Yet amidst the turmoil, Britney's resilience and strength shine through, inspiring countless fans around the world to stand up for justice and fight for the rights of those who have been silenced. The leaking of her conservatorship was a watershed moment in the Free Britney movement, shining a spotlight on the legal arrangement that had controlled her life for over a decade. While the exact circumstances surrounding the leak remain murky, it is believed that the conservatorship details were first brought to public attention through a series of anonymous tips and cryptic clues, including blind items and social media posts. As speculation about Britney's well-being and autonomy intensified, fans and advocates began to piece together the puzzle, drawing connections between seemingly unrelated events and uncovering the truth behind the conservatorship. Through a combination of investigative journalism, social media activism, and grassroots organizing, the Free Britney movement gained traction, bringing widespread attention to Britney's plight and mobilizing supporters around the world to demand justice for the pop queen. The leaking of the conservatorship not only exposed the inner workings of Britney's legal arrangement, but also galvanized a global movement dedicated to fighting for her freedom and autonomy.
My motivation in fighting for Britney's freedom is doing what I can to help a woman who helped shape me into the woman I am today. I don't think I would be who I am without Britney. I watched her throughout the years be ridiculed and essentially bullied within the media, and she could never do anything right in the media's eyes. But throughout it all, she always maintained a sense of authenticity.
Hello.
Britney had worked non-stop since she was conserved. Between her albums, world tours, Vegas residencies, and brand deals, she has made hundreds of millions of dollars. Jamie Spears fighting so hard to make sure someone he handpicks handles the conservatorship accounting is just another aspect of Jamie Spears sinking his claws as deep into Britney's life as possible, trying to remain in full control over her.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't been back to court in a long time because I don't think I was heard on any level when I came to court the last time. I brought 4 sheets of paper in my hands and wrote in length what I had been through the last 4 months before I came there. The people who did that to me should not be able to walk away so easily. I'll recap. I was on tour in 2018. I was forced to do. My management said if I don't do this tour, I will have to find an attorney.
Ms. Spears, I hate to interrupt you, but my court reporter is taking down what you're saying.
Okay.
And so you have to speak a little more slowly.
Of course, yes. Okay, I apologize. Great.
Record of everything you're saying.
Okay.
Sure. Now,
the people who did this to me should not get away and to be able to walk away so easily. Recap. I was on tour in 2018. I was forced to do. My management said if I don't do this tour, I will have to find an attorney, and by contract, my own management could sue me if I didn't follow through with the tour. He handed me a sheet of paper as I got off the stage in Vegas and said I had to sign it. It was very threatening and scary, and with the conservatorship, I couldn't even get my own attorney, so out of fear, I went ahead and I did the tour. When I came off that tour, a new show in Las Vegas was supposed to take place. I started rehearsing early, but it was hard because I'd been doing Vegas for 4 years and I needed a break in between. But no, I was told this is the timeline and this is how it's going to go. I rehearsed 4 to 4 days a week, half of the time in the studio and half of the other time in a Westlake studio. I was basically directing most of the show with my whereabouts, where I preferred to rehearse and actually did most of the choreography, meaning I taught my dancers my new choreography myself. I take everything I do very seriously. There's tons of video with me at rehearsals. I wasn't good. I was great. I led a room of 16 new dancers in rehearsals. It's funny to hear my manager's side of the story. They all said I wasn't participating in rehearsals and I never agreed to take my medication, which my medication is only taken in the mornings, never at rehearsal. They don't even see me. So why are they even claiming that? When I said no to one dance move into rehearsals, it was as if I planted a huge bomb somewhere. And I said, no, I don't want to do it this way. After that, my management and my dancers and my assistant of the new people that were supposed to do the new show all went into a room, shut the door, and didn't come out for at least 45 minutes. Ma'am, I'm not here to be anyone's slave. I can say no to a dance move. I was told by my, at the time, therapist, Dr. Benson, who died, that my manager called him in that moment and told him I wasn't cooperating or following the guidelines in rehearsals. And he also said I wasn't taking my medication, which is so dumb because I've had the same lady every morning for the past 8 years give me my same medication, and I'm nowhere near these stupid people. It made no sense at all. There was a week period where they were nice to me and they said, I don't want to do, and I told them I don't want to do the, they were nice to me. They said, if I don't want to do the new Vegas show, I don't have to, because I was getting really nervous. I said, I can wait. It was like, they told me I could wait. It was like lifting literally 200 pounds off of me when they said I don't have to do the show anymore, because I was really, really hard on myself and it was too much. I couldn't take it anymore. So I remember telling my assistant, but you know what? I feel weird if I say no. I feel like they're going to come back and be mean to me or punish me or something. 3 days later, after I said no to Vegas, my therapist sat me down in a room and said he had a million phone calls about how I was not cooperating in rehearsals and I haven't been taking my medication. All of this was a false. He immediately the next day put me on lithium out of nowhere. He took me off my normal meds I'd been on for 5 years. And lithium is a very, very strong and completely different medication compared to what I was used to. You can go mentally impaired if you take too much, if you stay on it longer than 5 months. But he put me on that and I felt drunk. I really couldn't even take up for myself. I couldn't even have a conversation with my mom or dad really about anything. I told them I was scared and my doctor had me on 6 different nurses with this new medication come to my home, stay with me, to monitor me on this new medication, which I never wanted to be on to begin with. There were 6 different nurses in my homes and they wouldn't let me get in my car to go anywhere for a month. Not only did my family not do a goddamn thing, my dad was all for it. Anything that happened to me had to be approved by my dad. And my dad only, he acted like he didn't know that I was told I had to be tested over the Christmas holidays before they sent me away when my kids went home to Louisiana. He was the one who approved all of it. My whole family did nothing. Over the 2-week holiday, a lady came into my home for 4 hours a day, sat me down and did a psych test on me. It took forever. But I was told I had to then, after that I got off, I was told I had to then, after I got a phone call from my dad saying, after I did the psych test with this lady, basically saying I had failed the test or whatever, I'm sorry, Britney, you have to listen to your doctors. They are planning to send you to a small home in Beverly Hills to do a small rehab program that we're going to make up for you. You're going to pay $60,000 a month for this. I cried on the phone for an hour and he loved every minute of it. The control he had over someone as powerful as me, as he loved the control to hurt his own daughter 100,000%, he loved it. I packed my bags and went to that place. I worked 7 days a week, no days off, which in California, the only similar thing to this is called sex trafficking, making anyone work against their will, taking all their possessions away, credit card, cash, phone, passport card, and placing them in a home where they work with the people who live with them. They all lived in the house with me, the nurses, the 24/7 security. There was one chef that came there and cooked for me daily during the weekdays. They watched me changed every day, naked, morning, noon, and night. My body, I had no privacy door for my room. I gave 8 gallons of blood a week. If I didn't do any of my meetings and work from 8 to 6 at night, which is 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, no days off, I wouldn't be able to see my kids or my boyfriend. I never had a say in my schedule. They always told me I had to do this. And ma'am, I will tell you, sitting in a chair 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, it ain't fun. And especially when you can't walk out the front door. And that's why I'm telling you this again 2 years later. After I've lied and told the whole world I'm okay and I'm happy, it's a lie. I thought I said that enough. Maybe I might become happy because I've been in denial. I've been in shock. I am traumatized. Fake it till you make it. But now I'm telling you the truth, okay? I'm not happy. I can't sleep. I'm so angry, it's insane, and I'm depressed. I cry every day, and the reason I'm telling you this is because I don't think how the state of California can have all this written in the court documents from the time I showed up and do absolutely nothing, just hire with my money another person to keep my dad on board. Ma'am, my dad and anyone involved in this conservatorship and my management who played a huge role in punishing at me when I said, no, ma'am, they should be in jail. Their cool tactics working for Miley Cyrus as she smokes on joints and stage at the VMAs. Nothing is ever done to this generation for doing wrong things. But my precious body, who's worked for my dad for the past fucking 13 years, trying to be so good and pretty, so perfect when he works me so hard, when I do everything I'm told in the state of California, allowed my ignorant father to take his own daughter, who only has a role with me if I work with him. They set back the whole course and allowed him to do that to me. That's giving these people I've worked for way too much control. They also threatened me and said if I don't go, then I have to go to court. And it will be more embarrassing me if the judge publicly makes you go the evidence we have. You have to go. I was advised for my image, I need to go ahead and just go and get it over with. They said that to me. I don't even drink alcohol. I should drink alcohol considering what they put my heart through. Also, the Bridges facility they sent me to, none of the kids, I was doing this program for 4 months. So the last 2 months I went to a Bridges facility. None of the kids there did the program. They never showed up for any of them. You didn't have to do anything if you didn't want to. How come they always made me go? How come I was always threatened by my dad and anybody that participated in this conservatorship? If I don't do this, what they tell me to enslave me to do, they're going to punish me. The last time I spoke to you by just keeping the conservatorship going and also keeping my dad in the loop made me feel like I was dead, like I didn't matter, like nothing had been done to me, like you thought I was lying or something. I'm telling you again because I'm not lying. I want to feel heard, and I'm telling you this again so maybe you can understand the depth and the degree and the damage that they did to me back then. I want changes, and I want changes going forward. I deserve changes. I was told I have to sit down and be evaluated again if I want to end the conservatorship. Ma'am, I didn't know I could petition the conservatorship to end it. I'm sorry for my ignorance, but I honestly didn't know that. But honestly, I don't think I owe anyone to be evaluated. I've done more than enough. I don't feel like I should even be in a room with anyone to offend me by trying to question my capacity of intelligence, whether I need to be in this stupid conservatorship or not. I've done more than enough. I don't owe these people anything, especially me, the one that has roofed and fed tons of people on tour on the road. It's embarrassing and demoralizing what I've been through. And that's the main reason I've never said it openly. And mainly I didn't want to say it openly because I honestly didn't think anyone would believe me. To be honest with you, the Paris Hilton story on what they did to her to that school, I didn't believe any of it. I'm sorry. I'm an outsider and I'll just be honest. I didn't believe it. And maybe I'm wrong. And that's why I didn't want to say any of this to anybody, to the public, because I thought people would make fun of me or laugh at me and say, she's lying. She's got everything. She's Britney Spears. I'm not lying. I just want my life back. And it's been 13 years and it's enough. It's been a long time since I've owned my money. And it's my wish and my dream for all of this to end without being tested. Again, it makes no sense whatsoever for the state of California to sit back and literally watch me with their own two eyes make a living for so many people and pay so many people trucks and buses on tour on the road with me and be told I'm not good enough. But I'm great at what I do. And I allow these people to control what I do, ma'am, and it's enough. It makes no sense at all. Now, going forward, I'm not willing to meet or see anyone I've met with enough people against my will. I'm done. All I want is to own my money for this to end and my boyfriend to drive me in his fucking car. And I would honestly like to sue my family, to be totally honest with you. I also would like to be able to share my story with the world and what they did to me instead of it being a hush-hush secret to benefit all of them. I want to be able to be heard on what they did to me by making me keep this in for so long is not good for my heart. I've been so angry and I cry every day. It concerns me. I'm told I'm not allowed to expose the people who did this to me. For my sanity, I need you to the judge to approve me, do an interview where I can be heard on what they did to me. And actually, I have the right to use my voice and take up for myself. My attorney says I can't, it's not good. I can't let the public know anything they did to me. And by not saying anything is saying it's okay. I don't know what I said here. It's not okay. I don't want to interview. I'd much rather just have an open call to you for the press to hear, which I didn't know today we're doing. So thank you. Instead of having an interview, honestly, I need that to get it off my heart, the anger and all of it that's been happening. It's not fair they're telling me lies about me openly. Even my family, they do interviews to anyone they want on news stations, my own family doing interviews and talking about the situation and making me feel so stupid. And I can't say one thing. And my own people say I can't say anything. It's been 2 years. I want a recorded call to you. Actually, we're doing this now, which I didn't know that we were doing this. To the public who say knows what they did to me. I told I know my lawyer, Sam, has been very scared for me to go forward because he's saying if I speak up, I'm being overworked in that facility of that rehab place. The rehab place will sue me. He told me I should keep it to myself, really. I would personally like to, actually, I know I've had grown with a personal relationship with Sam, my lawyer. I've been talking to him like 3 times a week now. We've kind of built a relationship, but I haven't really had the opportunity by my own self to actually handpick my own lawyer by myself. And I would like to be able to do that. I would like to also, the main reason why I'm here is because I want to end the conservatorship without having to be evaluated. I've done a lot of research, ma'am, and there's a lot of judges who do end conservatorships for people without them having to be evaluated all the time. The only times they don't is if a concerned family member says something's wrong with this person and otherwise. And considering my family has lived off my conservatorship for 13 years, I won't be surprised if one of them has something to say and go forward and say, we don't think this should end. We have to help her, especially if I get my fair served in turning, exposing what they did to me. Also, I want to speak to you about, at the moment, my obligations, which I personally don't think at the very moment I owe anybody anything. I have 3 meetings a week I have to attend no matter what. I just don't like feeling like I work for the people whom I pay. I don't like being told I have to, no matter what, even if I'm sick. Jody, the conservator, says I have to see my coach Ken even when I'm sick. I would like to do 1 meeting a week with a therapist. I've never, even before they sent me to that place, had 2 therapy sessions. a therapy session and one therapy session with I have a doctor and then a therapy person. What I've been forced to do illegal in my life, I shouldn't be told I have to be available 3 times a week to these people I don't know. I'm talking to you today because I feel, again, yes, even Jody is starting to kind of take it too far with me. They have me going to therapy twice a week and a psychiatrist. I've never in the past they had me going, twice a week and my Dr. Gold. So that's 3 times a week. I've never in the past had to see a therapist more than once a week. It takes too much out of me going to this man I don't know. Number one, I'm scared of people. I don't trust people with what I've been through. And the clever setup of being in Westlake, one of the most exposed places in Westlake, which yesterday, paparazzi showed me coming out of the place literally crying in therapy. It's embarrassing and it's demoralizing. I deserve privacy when I go. I deserve privacy when I go and have therapy, either at my home, like I've done for 8 years. They've always come to my home. Or when the Dr. Benson, the man that died, I went to a place similar to what I went to in Westlake, which was very exposed and really bad. Okay, so wait, where was I? In Westlake, it was identical to Dr. Benson, who died, the one who illegally, 100% abused me by the treatment he gave me too. And to be totally honest with you, I was so...
Excuse me for interrupting you, but my reporter says if you could just slow down a little bit because she's trying to make sure she gets everything that you're saying.
Okay, cool.
And so if you could, that would be great.
I have been through, and the clever setup in Westlake is identical to Dr. Benson, who died, the one who illegally, 100% abused me by the treatment he gave me. And to be totally honest with you, when he passed away, I got on my knees and thanked God. In other words, my team is pushing it with me again. I have trapped phobias being in small rooms because the trauma locking me up for 4 months in that place is not okay for them to send me, I'm going fast, to that small room like that twice a week with another new therapist I pay that I never even approved. I don't like it. I don't want to do that. And I haven't done anything wrong to deserve this treatment. It's not okay to force me to do anything I don't want to do. By law, Jody and this so-called team I should be able to sue them for threatening me and saying, if I don't go and do these meetings twice a week, we can't let you have your money and go to Maui on your vacations. You have to do what you're told for this program, and then you will be able to go. But it was very clever. They picked one of the most exposed places in Westlake, knowing I have the hot topic of the conservatorship, that over 5 paparazzis are going to show up and get me crying coming out of that place. I begged them to make sure that they did this at my home so I would have privacy. I deserve privacy. The whole conservatorship from the beginning, once the conservatorship from the beginning, once you see someone, whoever it is in the conservatorship, making them money and myself money and working, that whole statement right there, the conservatorship should end. There should be I shouldn't be in a conservatorship if I can work and provide money and work for myself and pay other people. It makes no sense. The laws need to change. What state allows people to own another person's money and account and threaten them and saying, you can't spend your money unless you do what we want you to do, and I'm paying them? Ma'am, I've worked since I was 17 years old. You have to understand how thin that is for me. Every morning I get up to know I can't go on somewhere unless I meet people I don't know every week in an office identical to the one where the therapist was very abusive to me. I truly believe this conservatorship is abusive. And then we can sit here all day and say, oh, conservatorships are here to help people. But ma'am, there's 1,000 conservatorships that are abusive as well. I don't feel like I can live a full life. I don't owe them to go see a man I don't know and share him my problems. I don't even believe in therapy. I always think you take it to God. I want to end the conservatorship without being evaluated. In the meantime, I want this therapist once a week. He can either come to my home. No, I just want him to come to my home. I'm not willing to go to Westlake and be embarrassed by all these paparazzi, these scummy paparazzi laughing at my faces while I'm crying, coming out and taking my pictures as all these white, nice dinners where people drinking wine at restaurants, watching me leave these places. They set me up by sending me to the most exposed places, and I told them I didn't want to go there because I knew paparazzi would show up there. They only gave me 2 options for therapists, and I'm not sure how you make your decisions, ma'am, but this is the only chance for me to talk to you for a while. I need your help. So if you can just kind of let me know where your head is. I don't really honestly know what to say, but my requests are just to end the conservatorship without being evaluated. I want a petition basically to end the conservatorship, but I want it to be petition to end it, but I don't want to be evaluated and be sat in a room with people 4 hours a day like they did me before. And they made it even worse for me after that happened. So I'm honestly new at this, and I'm doing research on all these things. I do know common sense and the method that things can end. For people, it has ended without them being evaluated. So I just want you to take that in consideration. I've also done research. Also took a year during COVID to get me any self-care methods during COVID. She said there were no services available. She's lying, ma'am. My mom went to the spa twice in Louisiana during COVID. For a year, I didn't have my nails done, no hairstyling and no massages, no acupuncture, nothing for a year. I saw the maids in my home each week with their nails done different each time. She made me feel like my dad does, very similar, her behavior and my dad, but just a different dynamic. Team wants me to work and stay home instead of having longer vacations. They are used to me sort of doing a weekly routine for them, and I'm over it. I don't feel like I owe them anything at this point. They need to be reminded they actually work for me. They trick me by sending me to the, okay, I repeated myself there. Also, I was supposed to be able to, I have a friend that I used to do AA meetings with. I did AA for 2 years. I have I did 3 meetings a week. I met a bunch of women there, and I'm not able to see my friends that live 8 minutes away from me, which I find extremely strange. I feel like they're making me feel like I live in a rehab program. This is my home. I'd like for my boyfriend to be able to drive me in his car. And I want to meet with a therapist once a week, not twice a week. And I want him to come to my home because I actually know I do need a little therapy. I was told, hold on. I think and I would like to progressively move forward, and I want to have the real deal. I want to be able to get married and have a baby. I was told right now in the conservatorship, I'm not able to get married or have a baby. I have a ID inside of myself right now, so I don't get pregnant. I wanted to take the ID out so I could start trying to have another baby, but this so-called team won't let me go to the doctor to take it out because they don't want me to have any more children. So basically, this conservatorship is doing me way more harm than good. I deserve to have a life. I've worked my whole life. I deserve to have a 2 to 3 year break and just, do what I want to do. But I do feel like there is a crunch here, and I feel like I feel open and I'm okay to talk to you today about it. But I wish I could stay with you on the phone forever, because when I get off the phone with you, all of a sudden, I hear all these no's. No. And then all of a sudden I feel ganged up on, and I feel bullied, and I feel left out and alone. And I'm tired of feeling alone. I deserve to have the same rights as anybody does by having a child, a family, any of those things, and more so. And that's all I wanted to say to you. And thank you so much for letting me speak to you today.
Chapter 5, Britney's Liberation and Beyond, the End of the Conservatorship and Current Speculation. As the sun sets on the era of Britney Spears' conservatorship, a new chapter unfolds in the pop icon's journey towards freedom and self-determination. Chapter 5 explores Britney's liberation from the legal constraints that have governed her life for over a decade, as well as the current speculation surrounding her future. After years of legal battles and public outcry, Britney Spears' conservatorship finally came to an end. The termination of the legal arrangement marked a monumental victory for Britney and her supporters, who had long campaigned for her autonomy and independence. With the conservatorship lifted, Britney regained control over her finances, career, and personal decisions, or at least so we thought, allowing her to chart her own course and reclaim at least part of her voice in the world. The end of the conservatorship signaled a new beginning for Britney, free from the shackles of legal guardianship and her dad, and ready to embrace the future on her own terms. The current speculation in the wake of the conservatorship's end is a little frightening to say the least. Speculation about Britney's life and future has reached fever pitch as fans and pundits alike eagerly await the new chapter in the pop icon's saga. Is she ever going to return to performing? Most people kind of just want her to live happily, yet there's still a whole bunch of haters and trolls on the internet that literally scrutinize and criticize her every single move. From potential new music and career opportunities to personal milestones and relationships, the possibilities seem endless for Britney as she embarks on this new phase of her life. One topic of speculation centers around Britney's plans for her music career, with fans eagerly anticipating new releases and live performances from the pop princess. She released a song after the conservatorship that people were side-eyeing heavily, being like, is this all AI? Is this song super old? What is going on? This is not Britney. As one of the most iconic figures in the history of pop music, Britney's return to the spotlight is sure to be met with excitement and anticipation from fans around the world. Another area of interest is Britney's personal life, including her relationship with family, friends, and romantic partners. With newfound freedom and autonomy, Britney has the opportunity to forge meaningful connections and pursue happiness on her own terms, hopefully, away from the prying eyes of tabloids and paparazzi. Yet, amidst the excitement and speculation, questions remain about Britney's long-term plans and aspirations. What is going on with this conservatorship? Is Britney at risk of being put back in a conservatorship? That's what some are saying.
There are new concerns about the mental stability and safety of pop star Britney Spears after new reports say she's been spiraling since the end of her 13-year conservatorship. This week, she apparently got into a huge fight while partying with her boyfriend, who's a convicted felon, at the Chateau Marmont in Los Angeles. Hotel guests, staff saw her running barefoot, looking disheveled, having a meltdown, screaming, threatening people around her. That's what they said. They feared she was having a mental health crisis. They called paramedics. Britney didn't go to the hospital. She returned home. But it's the latest incident, and it is reminiscent, some would say, of the breakdown in 2007 and 2008. That kind of played out in front of the public and the paparazzi and caused her to be put under an involuntary conservatorship, giving her father complete control of her life and her finances. Now, friends close to Britney recently told TMZ she's dysfunctional, has radical mood swings, are worried she's in serious danger both mentally and financially. They're also reportedly concerned she's in danger of going broke by blowing her fortune on lavish vacations, up to $1 million per trip, one friend told Page Six. She has no concept of money. For over a decade, other people were in charge of her bank accounts. Every purchase had to be reported to the court, but now she's on her own. All this comes after a judge gave Britney Spears her freedom back in 2021. The ruling was seen as a major victory for her. Her fans had created a viral Free Britney movement, saying she could finally make decisions for herself after years of alleged abuse. But now the question is, can't believe we're asking this, right? Was removing her father as a conservator a bad idea? Or at least, was getting her out of a conservatorship at all a bad idea? Look at her Instagram page. She's been posting herself. You know, look, I don't think it's a big deal that she's been dancing in bikinis, even if it's naked sometimes, weird faces. You know, there was a post last year where she was dancing with knives. That one actually resulted in a welfare check. Conservatorship as a legal matter is a really big deal. They are really, really rare and really hard to get, typically. Back with attorney and law and crime anchor Jesse Weber, criminal defense attorneys Jana Spilbor and Imran Ansari. Jana, does this reach the level, do you think, of getting her back in a conservatorship?
The latest incident is definitely deja vu all over again, right? That's what we saw that got her into the conservatorship to begin with. But my answer is no. She does not need another legal babysitter. If she wants to blow however many millions she has left, look, that's up to her. And so we're not going to go backwards. She may not be 100% mentally well, but that is not all that
Imran, there are two different, one or the other could happen, but what do you think?
Correct. There's those two kinds, but it's usually a very high burden that you're going to have to put before the court or satisfy before a conservatorship is going to be granted. I mean, everything you see, the statements and the quotes from her friends and people close to her, indicate that it most may be barreling towards that, because there's the financial considerations, the mental health considerations. But again, it's a high burden before the court, and I'm not sure if we're there yet, but she definitely needs some help, clearly, with the psychological issues, and also perhaps a good financial planner to make sure that she's not blowing her money.
Let me show you her response. Let me just make a point. I don't think it's a chance that they're going to put her back in a conservatorship at this point as a legal matter. I don't think they'd be able to. Britney responding on Instagram, just to let people know the news is fake. I would like respect at this time for people to understand I'm getting stronger every day.
A couple of things there. Number one, can we all agree that this decision shouldn't be made based on her fans and the public? I think I was very bothered by that it was a free Britney movement, maybe without people really understanding the considerations at play. But I think, you know why this conservatorship would never happen? Nobody would want to take it on. I think they would look at what happened with the father. They would see a resistance both on the public and also a legal front and say, I don't want this.
I don't think the problem's going to be finding a conservator. I think the problem's going to be that typically the people who are put in conservatorships are people who are like in hospice.
Right.
You know, I mean, like, let's be real. It's like we've been talking about Britney and these conservatorships as if like, oh yeah, you know, you put someone in control. This doesn't happen.
Right. Yeah.
Almost ever.
Will she return to the stage for a triumphant comeback tour? Will she explore new avenues of creativity and self-expression? Only time will tell as Britney navigates the complexities of life after the conservatorship. Oh, baby.